Welcome back. Today we're going to start the project of this Build a House Collage. This is a picture. It's a collage. It's made up of many different pieces of paper. They've all been ripped and torn in different shapes and different sizes, and I've assembled them all together to create this house. Okay, the first thing we're going to look at is noticing the difference between this one and this one. I've used different color combinations here. These ones are called the warm colors, and the warm colors are red, orange, and yellow. The cool colors on this example are green, blue, and violet. Now you are going to make a choice right now whether you are going to use the cool colors or the warm colors. So close your eyes, make that choice about which colors you would like to use. Now, taking a closer look at the warm and cool colors, if we put out the color wheel, and I'll arrange it how I have it in the room, where yellow's on the top, if you look at this half of the color wheel, you'll notice that all the warm colors, red, orange, and yellow, are on one half of the color wheel. And all the cool colors, green, blue, and violet, are on the other half of the color wheel. So you'll see that the warm colors are on one half, and the cool colors are on the other half. And that's how we distinguish between the warm colors and the cool colors. Now that we've made that choice, we're going to start working with some paper. I'm going to take these two sections of paper away and show you a little bit about what we're going to do next. Next, we're going to be ripping our paper. So here's a simple sheet of paper. It is 6 inches by 9 inches, and you're going to take it and hold it horizontal the hot dog way, and you're going to fold it in half, taking the right hand side and folding it like this. Okay, if we fold it in half this way and then you crease it, we're going to crease it right down the middle. Now, this is where the whole project comes together. This whole project is about paper ripping and manipulating paper. So if I take my hands now and I use my fingernails, just the little fingernails here, and I pinch the paper and I crease it really hard, and if I kind of bend the paper, you can see my fingernails creasing it right there. And then I crease it on the other side here, looking at my fingernails there and pulling the crease there. I'll get a nice, strong crease. You can almost see how the paper has been kind of abraded or ripped here a little bit almost. I'm going to open the paper up, and you can see that crease right there. And I'm going to reverse the crease this way. So I'm bending the paper back. Then I'm going to crease it again. Crease, crease. Then I'm going to fold it backwards again. So I have folded it backwards 3 times. How many times? Right, 3 times. And I crease it again, and now I'm going to open it up, and instead of using my scissors, I'm going to use my hands to rip the paper. I'm going to hold one hand down here and hold my index finger right along that crease. And I'm going to grab this other piece of paper and bend it down like this. Most kids want to rip the paper this direction by pulling it up, but I'm going to pull it down. What direction am I going to pull it? That's right, down. I'm going to pull it down and away and gently pull the paper, and it will rip along that line. Okay? Now, we're going to do a little guided discovery, and you're going to try this on your own. Now that you've tried that on your own, we're going to go back to our 3 pieces of paper. Okay? With our 3 pieces of paper, you are going to choose 2 of your colors. Okay? Right now, we're going to label our colors. Don't label this, on your paper. I'm just going to do it right up here. I'm going to label my paper A, B, and C. Okay? So I've got red, orange, and yellow. You're going to choose 2 colors. How many? Good. 2 colors, your A and your B color. I don't care what they are. It could be, yellow and orange are my A and B color, and red's my C color. Choose whatever you want. These 2 colors are going to be the main colors of your house. So I have A and B, my 2 colors of my house. You'll notice my 3rd color is made up of the roofs. Okay, so we're going to slide that example aside now, and you're going to choose an A and B color. All right, I'm going to choose red and orange, just like I did on my prior example. Okay, now we're going to rip these papers up. And just to kind of show you how this is ripped up, we're going to pull out some other ripped up papers here. And we can take, here it is, the yellow one's a little better. You can kind of see how if we start ripping, folding it in half and ripping it along there, and then we can take these two, fold them in half and rip those two. And then if we take the next branch down and we take here and another one that would be right there, you can see those two. And so we're going to rip these in half. So take your A color and we're going to fold it in half the hamburger way and rip that. Okay, everyone rip their paper, and when you're done, you're going to have your paper laid out two halves nicely, neatly. The goal of this is to make sure that everyone's rip is really nice. So crease it hard with your fingernails, crease it really hard, and crease it really hard again, and then rip it. And if you're having trouble with this, I will come around and help you. So here's my A color ripped into two pieces. Okay, I'm going to set this one side, this one piece aside right there, and take this one and fold it in half again. Okay, so here we go, folding it in half again. And I'm going to use my fingernails. And at this point, I'll tell you another couple tricks. You can take your tongue and just tap along this creased edge, and that will loosen the paper up a little bit and help it rip. Okay. Another trick that some kids like and have used in the past is to use a bone folder and take the bone folder and hold it right along that edge where the fold is and rip it like that, and that kind of helps hold the paper down. That's another trick. So those are two things you can do. So here's my other piece of paper now. You'll see that I have one half. Now I'm going to take this one, smaller one. I'm going to leave those two there, and I'm going to rip this one in half, folding it the hamburger way yet again. Okay, so here's my hamburger way folding. And at the end, when you're done, I want you to have your papers set out just like I have my A papers set out. So I've got that kind of set out. I've got my big one, my medium one, and two small ones. Okay, when you have that done, give me a thumbs up and I will come around and check it. Good, now that we're done checking that and everyone's got the same thing, you can take those pieces and leave them right there, or you can put them inside of the little envelope that we made in our previous session. Now we're going to take our B color. And our B color, oops, I said our B color was going to be orange. Sorry, there we go, orange. And you're going to take this and fold it in half the hot dog way. So I'm going to take the bottom edge here and fold it up this direction. I'm going to crease this. Now this is where things get a little harder, because it's harder, the longer your crease is, the harder it is to rip it evenly. That's why we're doing the long piece second, because now you've done this, you've done some experimenting, and you should be pretty good at ripping by now. So I want you to follow along with this second piece here. And here's my third time folding it back. Okay? And I'm going to rip this. Now as I start, I'm going to rip here at the top, and then I slide this hand down and slide this hand down and rip a little bit more. Then I slide this hand down and this hand down and rip a little more. So I'm kind of sliding my hands down every time the rip gets a little farther, so that by the end I've got this kind of a rip. Okay, now we have this. I'm going to leave the big piece there, and I'm going to fold this one in half this way. Okay, and this size should match this size. Okay, I'm going to crease that and fold it back again and get it creased really well and rip. So there's two pieces. Now I'm going to take this one, I'm going to fold it the hot dog way like this and rip those two in half, so I have two long pieces. Okay, so by the end of this session, you should have your A and your B color ripped up and looking something like that. Okay, when you have your B color done, give me a thumbs up and I'll come around and check you. So to finish this session, we're going to have to arrange our shapes into a house. And we're going to do that in our next session. But just to kind of conclude here, we did a lot of paper ripping to make the basic shapes for our house, using all rectangles, different sized rectangles, by folding our papers in half each time. We have a different variety of rectangles, which we will then arrange into our basic house shapes, whether we chose the warm colors or you chose those cool colors. Okay, and that concludes how to make the basic shapes for your Build a House collage out of your A and B colors.